I just finished reviewing with you the slope formula, so I'll go back to that slide. We just reviewed the slope formula. Now we're going to review standard form. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. Other things we need to know about it is that there are never any fractions in standard form, and we always want a to be positive. We want a to be positive. So what we're going to do is we're going to write each of these in standard form. If you look at this first one, the y is misplaced, so I'm going to move it to the other side. I can do that by doing the opposite, which is a minus 6y. These are not like terms, so all I can do is write 5x minus 6y, and then these create 0, and so I have a negative 4. This is standard form, and I am finished with that problem. The next one is a little bit more complicated because I have a fraction in there. We're never going to have any fractions in this. So the way we get our fractions is by multiplying by the least common denominator, which happens to be 3. So I'll multiply each thing by 3. When I do that, I get a 3y. I end up with 1/3 times 3. Remember how you do that off to the side, 1/3 times 3. Those cross reduce, so you get a 1x plus 5 times 3 is 15. Now, it's not necessarily put the 1x there. You could just write x as well. The x is misplaced at this point in time, so I'm going to subtract the 1x. And I end up getting negative 1x plus 3y equals 15. Now, I'm also supposed to have the a be positive. Well, the fast way to correct this is to just change each of these signs. So this was negative, now I'll make it positive x. This was a positive 3y, now I'll make it minus 3y. This is a positive 15, so I'll make it negative 15. This is standard form for the second one. The last example here, again I have fractions. We'll get rid of the fraction 1/2 by multiplying everything times 2. So 3 times 2 is 6y. 1/2 of 2 is 1x. And I have 2 times 3, which is 6. So I am going to move my 1x to the other side. I do not have like terms here, so I have a negative 1x plus a 6y equals, this is a negative 6 because of the minus 6 behind there. I do not want a negative out here in front, so I will change it to be positive x, which makes this a negative 6y, which then makes this negative 6 a positive 6. The next part of our review is x and y intercepts. How do we find the intercepts? We can find intercepts by plugging in zeros. So what we're going to be doing is plugging in, let's see, for the x-intercept, on the other side, the x-intercept, we keep the x portion and we plug 0 in for y. And the y-intercept, we keep the y portion, we plug 0 in for x. So for 4, 5, and 6, we're going to find the x and y intercept. I'm going to go back here and copy down what 4 was. What that 5x equals 6y minus 4. And I'm going to keep it the way it was rather than putting it in standard form. So it was 5x equals 6y minus 4. I'll make it a little bit more challenging. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the x-intercept, and we can do that by plugging in 0 for the y portion. So we want to keep the x portion, and we want to get rid of the y portion. So we put 0 in for y. This gives me 5x. That makes that go away, and I get equals negative 4. Divide by 5 on both sides, I get x is negative 4/5. The y-intercept, I can find the y-intercept by plugging 0 in for the x portion, keeping the y portion. That gives me 0. Now I need to solve for y, so I will do that by adding 4 to both sides. And that ends up giving me a 6y. Divide by 6 on both sides. I could say it's 4/6 to reduce it to be 2/3.